Good evening from Lagos, everyone. You're watching Beyond 100 Days with Nifemi Oguntoye. It's less than 2 days to the governorship election in Edo State, and officials of INEC and party officials have inspected and taken inventory of sensitive materials at the Central Bank of Nigeria in Benin. All the materials were brought out of the CBN vault in Benin City for officials of INEC to take stock in the presence of party officials to ensure they are complete and intact. And right outside the bank premises, buses and pickup trucks were positioned to move the materials to the various local governments. They would be escorted by security agents. These materials include ballot papers and reporting forms, which are expected to get to all the 18 local government areas, from where polling officers will then take them to the polling units on election day. Recall that the Nigerian Air Force on Wednesday commenced the airlift of election materials for INEC to Benin, the Edo State capital. And election observers, including security personnel and INEC ad hoc staff, going to Edo North Senatorial District for Saturday's governorship election, we understand, are in for a challenging journey. The poor state of roads leading to Edo North has raised concerns about the logistics of the election. On security ahead of this election, Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the police contingent for the Edo State governorship election, Frank Omba, has reassured residents of the state of adequate security during this election. The DIG made this known while briefing journalists at the force headquarters in Benin City. On the show today, our correspondent Sarah Ayeku is in Auchi, Uche Okoro is in Benin City. They both join me for updates as we count down to Saturday. Sarah, how bad are the roads to Edo North where you are, and how do you envisage this impact on INEC's logistics on Saturday?
Nifemi, it's what's the word? Horrendous. It's terrible. We were asked to go use an alternative road from Benin City down here, and it took us about 5 hours just to get here. And just imagine the impact of that waste of man hours on the election, particularly when you're bringing in INEC ad hoc staff from Benin City, or you're bringing in sensitive materials, as you know, that they've distributed to all the. So imagine what it would take them to bring all of those materials down the other local governments. That's 6 local governments in Edo North Senatorial District. So where it's about bad roads, bad road network. This, of course, coming to monitor these elections on Saturday, and so we're hoping that this wouldn't really impact. That's if the election observers and whoever is coming to monitor the electoral process will leave Benin City on time, just to get to their various polling units on time. Because if they have to go through these roads where there is no alternative, we understand that the alternative routes, you have to spend even more hours. So you're spending even more than 5 hours on those alternative routes. So this, I don't know if there is something they can do before election day. Of course, if there is some palliative measures that could be done on these roads, because I tell you, like, it's really terrible. We practically spent hours waiting for the heavy-duty trucks to move before we could get a headway on some sections of the road. So it's really terrible. I think even the pictures and even my description will not be able to do justice to it. And that's in describing what we went through. If you go through those roads, Nifemi, you will really understand what these election observers, INEC ad hoc staff would go through if they come to this area.
Well, very serious concerns, Sarah. The Nigerian Air Force, we understand, is collaborating with the INEC. Perhaps we're expecting officials to fly helicopters to be able to escape these orders. But 5 hours is a long travel time on election day, and we're hoping that stakeholders are paying attention to this very one. Let's quickly turn to Benin City, where Uche Okoro is also standing by. Uche, security is a major concern in this election. The Chief of Defense Staff was in Benin earlier. Top-ranking police officials are also speaking tough. But what can you see on the ground?
Nifemi, I think let me sympathize with my very dear colleague there, Sarah Ayeku. I also had my fair share of the bad roads coming into Benin City. We hope that, of course, something is already being planned as a measure to mitigate the impact it's going to have, as Sarah mentioned, on election day. Well, coming into town and throughout my stay in town, I can say that I have witnessed a massive deployment of police personnel, especially. Yes, we have a number of, we've encountered a number of checkpoints being manned by military personnel. That's talking about the inroads into Benin City, into Edo State, in the outskirts of the town. You have a lot of these checkpoints being manned by military personnel. But coming into the town, I've noticed police on show of force. I also noticed more than 20 police armored personnel carriers converge at a particular petrol station, trying to fill up ahead of their work tomorrow and subsequently on election day. That's the police on ground. I've also seen a number of trucks as well coming into Benin City, conveying security personnel from other states. Particularly yesterday, scores of buses loaded with police officers left Port Harcourt City for the Edo State capital here in Benin for onward deployment to their various places of assignment. So I believe that security agencies aren't leaving anything to chance. I also saw a CP or Latunji Disu from Rivers State. I also saw him sitting beside DIG Frank Mba today, where they delivered their briefing. So you have a number of commissioners of police from outside Edo State who are also available here to supervise the deployment and the provision of security. So from my assessment, I would say that it appears as though the police especially are ready for indigenes of Edo to cast their votes under a peaceful atmosphere.
Well, I understand that the weather is saying it's going to be perhaps a raining day on Saturday. It looks like it's raining already. Is that having any particular impact on INEC's preparation?
Well, no, as at earlier today when the materials were deployed, the weather was dry. So right now it was raining just moments ago. During the course of my movement across the town, the rain hasn't done anything to impact, from my assessment, to impact the movement of people and vehicles. So judging by the atmosphere in the metropolis, I would say that I think INEC would also be having quite a smooth ride navigating the city by road, irrespective of the wet weather. But it's the same. The weather is unpredictable everywhere this period. It's raining. You almost can't predict when it's going to rain. It's been raining at very unpredictable schedules here in the city. So this is something that the electoral umpire would have to prepare for. It is the chances of having a very wet day on Saturday is very high. So I believe that the commission will begin to provide shelter for voters, because people would want to get accredited and vote, and as wait for these results to be announced, we expect the commission to begin to make preparations to shelter voters while they wait on the queue, while they wait for results to be announced, to also keep these sensitive materials away from getting soaked by the rains. So these are some of the plans that I expect that the commission should have prepared for coming in as we approach election day. The chances of rain on that day very high. We are prepared. We believe that we hope that the security agencies and INEC are also prepared to deal with the weather.
Senior correspondent Uche Okoro live for us in Benin. Top police officials on ground, troops of the Nigerian army. We're hoping that that will indeed translate to a peaceful exercise come Saturday, and that INEC is also election ready. Sarah, what's the weather like where you are? Are you also experiencing rain?
We had light showers earlier on, just as we got into town. But since morning, as I left Benin City, it was raining till some parts of Obadan to Sabongida. It was raining a bit. When we got into town also, it was raining a bit, but light showers. We're hoping that this would not, hamper or hinder the electoral process. But I don't think it will, because when we came into town, we saw market women having door-to-door campaigns and sensitizing themselves, telling themselves, oh, this is the party we're going to vote for. And so that could tell you that they are ready, whether rain or shine, they are ready to come out on Saturday to vote for a candidate of their choice. And also even the police, I see that they are at the command headquarters right now, and they are trying to deploy themselves. At about 1,000 of them are going to be deployed to 5 divisions in Auchi alone. So they're doing that preparations right now. If you look a bit, you see some police officers, still walking around the area, and just to ensure that electoral process on Saturday is peaceful, it's fair, and it's credible.
Remember the NYC anthem, Under the Sun and in the Rain. Hopefully you guys have a great time covering this election, whatever the weather says, and irrespective of the party. Thank you so much, Sarah, for the updates in Auchi.